Coach Lindsey, just give us an overall general impression of what you've seen from the D line so far, maybe in particular Jordan Birch and Zach Pickens as well.
First, Jordan Birch is with Coach P with the DNs and outside backers. And then who did you ask about secondly? I'm sorry.
Zach Pickens.
Oh, Zach Pickens. Okay. First, just start with the whole group. Been pleased with the way the guys have been working. Obviously, new defense, new different techniques and drills. So the guys have bought in and have been doing a nice job of that. Zach's been a pleasant surprise so far. Zach's really talented. The thing that I challenged him with from going back and watching film from last year is just to improve his fundamentals. I think once he improves the fundamentals of defensive line play, he has a chance to be a really good player for us because he has all the size, the speed, and all the things that you look for in a defensive tackle.
Colin Taylor.
Jimmy, kind of following up on that, you mentioned the fundamentals. When you look at defensive line, what are some of the things that, fundamentally speaking, a good defensive lineman has to play well in the SEC?
Well, we try to break things down into skills. So hand skills, footwork, explosion, teaching guys how to lock out blocks, teaching guys how to block release, get off blocks. And then another element that's lost, especially up front, is teaching them how to tackle. So we look for all those things, and we try to build our individual from a day-to-day basis on those different skills and fundamentals.
And Coach White's he said he wants this to be an aggressive defense, and a lot of defensive players have come in and said how aggressive they think it's been through the first couple practices. What does that look like from a defensive line standpoint? When you see a defensive line, especially interior, being aggressive, what does that look like to you?
From my standpoint, I think you want guys that are attacking. We're not sitting back and waiting on the offensive line to dictate to us. We're attacking them and reacting off whatever block or pass set that they give us. And then just playing with relentless effort, whether it's the run or the pass.
Joe Machika.
Hey, Coach, just wanted to know, has anyone stood out to you from a leadership standpoint yet? I know it's still early in spring practice, but has there been that one guy yet that's kind of stood out taking the reins?
Just from 4 days and what we were able to build through during the offseason, I think Jabari Ellis has done a good job of leading the group so far. The thing that's been really pleasant to see is all of those guys are bringing along each other at the same time. So we can continue to build that continuity and that belief in each other that we're going to need everybody in the room. So if we can build it from the bottom up, I think we have a chance to be successful.
And then one more follow-up. If there's one thing that you guys are harking on right now, I know you said tackling was one big thing, but if there's one thing that you guys are really working on right now to hammer in at this early stage of spring practice, what would that be?
Run defense, stop the run. We got to stop the run. We don't stop the run, we don't have a chance to be successful.
Hill McGranahan.
Coach, I think most of us saw Rick Sandage post about a traffic accident he was involved in the other day. If you could give us an update on him and how he's doing. I think he posted that he wasn't physically injured, but just kind of where's he at with all that stuff? What can you share?
Yeah, just from dealing with Clint and then Rick. Rick obviously had an accident on Saturday, found out Saturday evening. Thank God that he's healthy. He is banged up. He had an ankle injury before we started practice, so he's been out. Hopefully we'll get him back in the next couple of days.
And Jakeem Green, who's obviously an older guy but new around here, what's sort of his transition been at coming from Nebraska and kind of getting himself going?
Jakeem has been a pleasant surprise. He's definitely helped us from a run defense standpoint. He's doing a good job trying to buy into the fundamentals and the skills that we're teaching him. I think he's just a guy that has to get an inch better each day, and we'll continue to push him through that process.
Josh Kendall.
Coach, how much time is Tonka Hemingway spending with you?
Tonka's with me all the time.
He's your guy the whole time?
Yes, sir.
What have been what have been your impressions of him?
I think Tonka has a chance to be a really good player. He's actually been a surprise as far as how he's been able to hold up inside. When guys make the transition from being an edge defender to an inside player, it's a totally different world because the blocks inside happen a little faster than they do on the edge. So I'm very pleased where he's at through 4 practices. He's another guy that's a young player, redshirt freshman, I think. He just has to continue to get better each day and hone into the fundamentals that we're teaching. He has a bright future.
He's a 3-sport guy from high school. And philosophically, I know some people think that that's important, to be a multi-sport person as you're coming up. Do you see some of those traits in him of a multi-sport background?
I do, especially from the agility and then being able to play with power inside as well. He displays some of those things.
Thank you.
Colin Taylor.
Jimmy, I know it's early in spring practice, but is there a group? How many guys would you like to conceivably be able to rotate in during a game? And where do you feel like you are in terms of developing that number at South Carolina so far?
Ideally, you like to be able to rotate anywhere from 6 to 8. I think where we're at right now, we're probably at 6, and we'll just keep trying to build that depth as spring ball goes on, and then hopefully into the summer as we build up for fall camp.
And Alex Huntley was obviously a guy that was banged up a little bit last year. Just what have you seen from him so far in a limited sample size on the field?
Alex has done some good things. Obviously, he's still another young player in our group, but he has some skills that show up. Very smart player, picks up the playbook pretty fast. I think the more reps he gets, the better he'll become.
Hill.
Devontae Davis has been around here for a while, but hadn't played a ton because of injuries and whatnot. What's his progress been like these first few practices with you?
Devontae's been in the mix the first 4 practices. Practice 4 was today, right? It sort of runs together. But he's been in the mix. He's another guy that's coming off injury, even though he's been around here a long time. He hasn't played a lot of football. So just continuing to get him into the groove of things, getting him acclimated to the practice situations. So we try to get him as many reps as we can.
John Del Bianco.
Hey, Coach, Nick Barrett has been on campus not longer than, 3-4 months. Just what has he shown you as a true freshman and pretty big body in there for a guy that just got on campus?
Well, one, he is a freshman, so he's swimming a little bit. But Nick's a great kid. He's going to be a good player, very attentive, tries to do everything you tell him. Some days on the field he gets that deer in the headlights look, but you know that he's a freshman, so you just keep – it's cool to coach freshmen because you see where they start and where they'll eventually end up. So Nick's been fine. He just needs to continue to work. Very strong for a kid his age and his youth. So I've been pleased with Nick so far.
Colin Taylor.
Curious from an installation standpoint, Coach White says you guys throw a lot at them pretty quickly as the start of practice. Just from a defensive line standpoint, what does an installation look like? Do you cover one topic one day and then move on to another the next, or kind of take me through how you do it and how you approach it?
When Coach White literally says he throws a lot at them, that's every position. So there's no break for the big guys inside. We throw it all at them. Obviously the coverage piece doesn't tie in with the front guys, but we challenge them mentally, to see what they can attain and take to the field. So that's why we practice, to correct and go from there. But the same thing the DBs and the linebackers get, the D-line gets the same stuff.
What is it? Is it just 3-4-man fronts, kind of game planning for how to protect against certain pass protections?
It's fronts, it's blitzes, it's stemming to this front, it's lining up in this front and moving to this front. It's where you got to go on a 5-man pressure or a 6-man pressure. So there's a lot of variables that tie into it. And then we have our checks that we have from a blitz standpoint. So it's a lot. And also our defensive tackles have to set the defense. They have to make a strength call. So we challenge them mentally in all aspects.
Is that atypical for a defensive tackle to have to make some of those calls, or is that pretty normal across defense? I'm not asking to reveal state secrets, but is that typical?
It's not different for me because I've been doing it 4 out of the last 5 years, but I don't know what other teams do. Previous job last year, the linebacker made the strength call. So it just depends on the system that you're in.
Any other questions for Coach Lindsey? John Del Bianco's got one. Go ahead, John.
Coach, I'm sure you're focused on your defensive linemen when you guys are going up against the offense, but when you've had a chance to look up, maybe what offensive linemen or skill players have really caught your eye when you guys are going offense versus defense in practice?
I'm very impressed with our backs. Very impressed with 79, our right tackle. I think our O-line does a good job overall as a unit. Been impressed with those guys. I'll be honest with you, I don't know many other receivers. So, but been impressed with our backs and our tight ends and our O-line. And obviously, I think Luke Doughty is making a ton of strides when you watch him on tape.